Hello everybody, welcome back. We're playing Aurora 4X, and this is version 1.8.0. So earlier today, or in the previous episode, if you guys were watching earlier today, or if you guys watch these videos in the background while you work or do something, we restarted our new campaign. We previously had a campaign running in game version 1.6.3. Even though the game had been patched beyond that, it was stable enough to play, and I wanted to, try some kind of military campaign. That military campaign ended up in failure because it turned out the NPR had way more tonnage than we did and just overwhelmed us with missiles. And we kind of just YOLO'd into their system just for fun to see how that would end up. Didn't end up going great. So then I decided, okay, let's restart. And I started up a campaign in 1.7.3 because I was expecting that there might be like a couple little bug fixes in that cycle. But I thought I'd have time before 1.8 came up and Steve would make it so that save games are not interchangeable. But as I was setting up the game, 1.8.0 came out. So before going any further, I just scrapped that game, but I kept with all the design choices that I made in mind. And what I've done since then is it didn't take too long, it took like 15-20 minutes, and I have recreated basically that game in a new save, a new start, which is running now on game version 1.8.0. And I've played it to a very similar point where we were before, and then I stopped. So I didn't want to run ahead. So let me remind everybody what our start is. So we did a Trans-Newtonian start. We gave ourselves a bit of... So we spent the 80,000 tech points, maybe a bit more, maybe in total 120,000 tech points. We didn't go crazy. We just got stuff that was generally below 5,000 RP. In fact, everything was below 5,000 RP. We have a couple terraforming bases, fuel harvesting base. We got some, colony ship, tankers, just the very basics, some exploration ships with jump drives, things like that. We set up 2 sort of 9 million population colonies, one on Luna, one on Mars, right at the beginning. And we've also started terraforming Mars already, so that's happening slowly. And we have actually already completed the geosurvey of the Sol system in this version of the playthrough. Now, unfortunately, in this seed, the system is a bit more barren. Nothing on the inner planets. The moon has some tritanium and boronide gallicite. Europa has duranium, so we'll be okay on duranium. And we've got some solid sorium on Callisto. This is good because our only gaseous sorium is this terrible 0.3 accessibility on Saturn. So we towed our fuel harvesting base out there, but it's not going to be doing much. That's pretty much it. There's like nothing else really in the Sol system. Charon has some boronide. Eris has venetrite and neutronium. It's pretty far out, but if we're desperate, we can always go mine stuff there. We've got a bit of corundium out here on Gong Gong, and we've got the comets as usual. So not a fantastic haul in the Sol system. This time around, there are 3 jump points leading out of the Sol system. We have explored 2 of them. I've used the Nations of Earth system naming theme. Oh, and wait, did I do known star systems or unknown star systems? I might have checked off known star systems this time, so I'm not sure. Hello, Cliff S, who says, "Hey, another stream in between patches. Good luck." Well, now we're at 1.8, and I'm up to speed with the latest patches, so hopefully there are no big game-breaking bugs in this version. I haven't experienced really game-breaking bugs, but you know, it's nice to be able to get in a long campaign. Okay, and there's another jump point that we have not yet. Well, we've got a survey ship that's heading there soon, so we'll find out what's there. The ship designs that we're using are the following. I decided this time to use class names, from the list of stars and planets. And we might rename some of them, but so we have the Callisto class colony ship, the Deneb class cargo ship, the Polaris class frigate. We'll get to that in a moment. We've got the Iota Pegasi fuel harvester base, the Aldebaran class survey ship. So that'll be one that we'll be talking about a lot. We've got Kappa class tankers, Alpha Centauri class terraforming base, the Gemini class troop transport, and the Pluto class tug. And our military doctrine for the beginning of this game is going to be, we've got these small frigates massing at about 2,500 tons, which carry a single spinal laser. And then we have... Sorry, I got distracted. And that's it. We intend to support these frigates with large sort of battle cruiser type ships, about 20,000 tons, which will have area, PD, and other support capabilities. And we're researching some of those things now. Turrets, for example, turret tracking gear and stuff like that. So we're getting some tech ready. Terraforming Mars. We've already surveyed some of our neighboring systems. So one of our neighboring systems is the Tokyo system. It has some planets that would be easy to colonize. The mineral content of the system is pretty disappointing. These small moons have very little. There's a gas giant, but not much better accessibility than in the Sol system. And then there's a comet. So overall, a bit of a disappointment. We're still waiting on the geosurvey in the Yaren system. Now, there are a lot of potentially colonizable places here. These moons all have low gravity. But would still be colonizable. Or relatively easily colonizable with some infrastructure, but we'll have to see if there's any worthwhile minerals there. Anyways, so that's going on, and now that we're all caught up, let's get going. I guess I stopped just as we had finished the following research, which is the jump gate stabilization. Awesome Sauce says, any serious changes in 1.8? Well, it's just bug fixes. There isn't like new features being added. These are just like bug squashing. So yeah, it's not new features. It's just stuff that was broken that is less broken now. So I actually want to design a jump gate stabilization vessel, which we will call the North Star class JCS construction ship. Okay, and it will have jump stabilization and a few engines. And some fuel, maybe a bit more fuel. more fuel. Yeah, I want to keep this amount of engines. Oh, this is going to be a conscript. I will just increase the shipyard. The shipyard is targeted to be 60,000 tons, but we'll make it a bit bigger to allow for this design, because I really want to have a certain amount of range, and I don't want it to be that slow. So this will do for now. Actually, before I forget, let's go here to the shipyard. It's growing pretty fast. It's already at 38. Continual capacity target will be something like 61,000. There. Okay, let's go. Oh, I'm not sure what major bugs were found. I mean, I read constantly the bug report threads, and there's just a ton of things that just says fix. There was some. The thing is, sometimes major bugs get introduced, and then they have to be fixed. So there were like, you couldn't colonize, or there was like unrest bug or population, so things can break between the little patches. Actually, one of the more significant things that was changed, let me show you in a moment. CP. Okay, wait, hang on. I got distracted here. What are we going to do with our research? Let's start working on some missile technology, which is going to involve a whole bunch of tech here. One of the things that was patched is that now we correctly get interrupts when survey vessels that are on like geo or grav surveys, but in particular the geo surveys, when they no longer have anything that they can geo survey, it now prompts you. So that means we are less likely to leave some stranded ships in faraway systems. And speaking of geosurvey ships, we've just built the 7th and the 8th. And that'll be enough for now. And so we will send one more to Yaren to help a geosurvey. And the 8th one we'll send to this unexplored system, even though there is another... Like, we'll double down on survey vessels going there. Okay, Cliff S. asks, have you tried shortening the construction cycle time like Sir Beardian did? It seemed to work pretty well and was slightly more efficient for quick projects. Don't know how it'd do in the long run. Yeah, so you can customize that. I don't really see the need for it. I understand in the sense that, like, if you're building a lot of little things that take less than 5 days to build, then in some situations you're wasting, like, resources or, like, time, like in-game time. But for most things, you're able to queue, and it's just kind of a smooth process. So I haven't really found that to be necessary to tweak that. But I mean, I understand the thinking behind it. It makes sense. Okay, we've discovered the Georgetown system. Ooh, this is interesting. Okay. A lot of potential colonies in here. Let's have this ship get started on a geosurvey right away. Well, I say right away, but actually I mean after you do a bit of a graph survey. Okay, so the Aldebaran 3 we had overhaul, so it's ready to head out. I guess it can go to Georgetown. Here comes the Aldebaran. So we've got the 4 and the 8 are in this system. And we are building... We're adding to our military tonnage by getting more of these frigates, and when they are built we put them in the battle fleet for training. And let's just keep the shipyard fleet clear here. Oh, I didn't put the Polaris 4 and 5 in here, so that was a mistake. This tanker does not need to be here. That is also a mistake. That should be in tankers. Good. I'm getting all sorts of mineral deposit messages, so we'll definitely have to check. Let's take a look at... we haven't really surveyed much. Oh, we surveyed the comets here in Georgetown, but what about the Uran system? Oh, well, so far these moons are all barren, and all these minerals that we found were all on the comets only. That's too bad. The Aldebaran 2 has finished its overhaul, so it can head out, I guess, to the Uran system. And research into turret tracking. So we got turret tracking at the 4,000 kilometers per second level, so we should probably at least match the beam fire control speed. Well, we don't have to. We don't really, I mean, maybe we will in the end, but we don't have to do that immediately. Okay, so what kind of... So we're going to do some AMM missile system, but we're definitely going to have some turrets. And I'm kind of thinking we do some laser turrets because we're using lasers. Like, it could be kind of a laser-flavored defense system here. So we actually would use very cheap lasers for this, so we don't need anything fancy. Yeah, we're basically like all good for lasers. What we need, I guess we can just double down on kinetics, right? Question mark. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's allocate our labs like that. For now, at least. Okay, let's take a look at the mineral situation here. So in Georgetown, it's still incomplete, but all right, a lot of uridium on this terrestrial planet. Colony cost 5.9. There's a helium atmosphere. It's kind of cold, but there's a lot of ice. There's a lot of water already. It's a massive planet, so normally it'd be a pain to terraform, but there is a ton of water already on the planet. So that would not be so... Well, that helps in the terraforming department. Okay, what else do we have? Tritanium and more solid sorium. Interesting. All right. Promising stuff in the Georgetown system. What about Uran? Okay, Uran 1 has uridium, duranium, and tritanium. and the potential for more if only we go and survey it. But that's it. Nothing really else in this system. Oh, something I forgot to mention. We have ruins in the Sol system on Mercury. There's a ruined outpost here. So something that I meant to do was to get a xenoarchaeology team detachment designed here. And this would look something like this. We would do headquarters. Obviously, we would want most of the tonnage to be this. Let's see if we just put 10. I just want to see how much this weighs. 22. So let's make it like, I don't know, 16. And then let's just add a little bit of fluff around here. So, I don't know, 1 engineering team. 2 of these guys. 2 of these guys. Some ground infantry, like 100. A bit more maybe. We'll add 2 ground small logistics. In case we do need, no, with 3. Let's change that. Edit the amount to 3. And then we'll edit the ground infantry to, we can put 41 more. There we go. Xenoarchaeology detachment with 16 xenoarchaeology vehicles. Okay. And let's go ahead and train some of these. I'm just going to create 2, and actually let's go and create another formation. Can I copy a formation? No, that's too bad. Okay, let's make a new formation. This one's going to be Geo-survey detachment. I'll call it Geo. And we're going to do basically the same thing, except we're going to put Geo-survey. So we're basically going to copy. So it was 2 of these, 2 of those, 2 of those, 1 of these, 3 of these, 16 of the main thing, and then 141 ground infantry. Good. There's the geo-survey, and then, yeah, that's it. So let's train 2 of those as well. Okay, so they'll build at roughly the same rate. Okay, meanwhile, the Aldebaran 6 has completed its queue of geo-survey things, so let's have it switch to grav survey. And keep going. In the Yaren system, the Aldebaran 2 has also basically run out of things to go and look at. Have it do a grav survey. the Aldebaran 7 is in a similar situation. Okay, the Aldebaran 4 in Georgetown can do grav surveys, and the Aldebaran 1 has finished its overhaul. So let's send it. Let's take a look at the map quickly. Tokyo has an unexplored jump point, so let's go there. Okay, we're doing some preliminary research in missile technology, missile launcher speed, things like that. Okay, we have discovered the Managua system, which has a bajillion asteroids apparently. And also a lot of interesting planets. Interesting. We'll take at the next interrupt, we'll take a quick look at our ships and make sure we don't have a ship that's running out of maintenance. We can go to the logistics report. So the 5 and the 6 have been out for 3 years. So, you know, once they run out of things to do in the system they're in, we'll send them home to for an overhaul. But meanwhile, the Aldebaran 3, which is doing fine, it was doing a geo survey, and that is basically done. Or it's wrapping up in the Georgetown system. Okay, I think I queued up accidentally 2 colony ships. I did when I meant to make freighters. So now we have 3 colony ships, but we're not really going to be using them for quite a while. Yeah, it'll take forever, but we'll get it done. Okay, the Aldebaran 5 I think is due for some refuel and an overhaul. We can look now fully at Tokyo. I think we looked at already. It was kind of disappointing in terms of mineral availability. Now Yaren also completed. Georgetown. Okay, let's take a look here. Georgetown. Okay, a lot of duranium, but the accessibility of these of all this corundium is very low, which is very unfortunate. And this is not an amazing, this is a Venus-like planet, so not great. Okay, Georgetown 3, quite colonizable, but very low accessibility. Georgetown 4, a lot of gallicite, no hydrosphere, but we could make something happen. It's kind of Earth-sized, so it's possible to terraform without too much trouble. Georgetown 5, again, very low accessibility. Then we've got moons, including the 4th moon, which has a lot of duranium and a decent amount of corundium. This might be the colony, guys, because it's important to get a nice source of corundium going. And this is colonizable. it's tidal locked, but you know the radius isn't too big, so it's easy to change the atmosphere. It's cold, but not too cold. There's already water on an ice sheet. This is almost certainly going to be our first extrasolar colony. Okay, we got some small moons here with Sorium, Tritanium. This could be auto-mined. And here we had already seen Iridium. How about these? Uranium. Here we've got Galisite, another terrestrial, and then a dwarf planet out there, which actually also has some impressive accessibility. Okay, Georgetown is a very interesting system. And I'm going to just mark this as a colony, because we're definitely going to try to head there. Now we have to stabilize jump you know, points and stuff like that, but that is pretty exciting. Okay. Speaking of jump point stabilization, we are ready to build the first stabilization ship, which is very exciting. The Aldebaran 6 had finished whatever it was doing, and it was due for a bit of resupply and overhaul. So let's tell it to do that. Aldebaran 4 finished in Georgetown. We got plenty of maintenance, so let's head on over to an unexplored jump point. Okay, we trained the geosurvey and xenoarchaeology detachments. Let's send a xenoarchaeology detachment. So let's take the troop transports. Earth, load. And go to Mercury. Oh, we gotta make it a colony. Create colony. Unload all ground units. And let's do that. Cliff asks if I'm going to try to make any new LPs in systems with the jump point stabilization. Yes, I tried it in the 1.6.3 game that I did, and it works. So a new feature that's been added is you can now, if a planet is massive enough, and Earth and Venus are sort of at the lower end of what's possible here, but if it's lighter than that, then it won't work. Like, you can't do it on Mars. Then you can send a stabilization ship to that planet, and it will stabilize the Lagrange point. So in real life, this is not how Lagrange point works. A Lagrange point in real life is just like a point in space where the forces of gravity are such that an object that is exactly at the Lagrange point doesn't really experience any forces either way. So the orbit, the thing is, the orbit isn't necessarily stable, because you have Lagrange points that are stable, where things will tend to go back to the Lagrange point. But you have other Lagrange points that are like unstable. It's kind of like curves in math, right? You can be like in the trough of a curve, or you could be on top of the hill. But the point is that the slope is 0 at that point, at the Lagrange point. That is why, by the way, for example, in the solar system, that is why, Let's zoom in here. That's why you have all of these bodies at these resonances around in the orbit of Jupiter. And the same thing is also true. Wait, no, that's Saturn. No, that was Jupiter. I was showing you Jupiter. Because these are some of the Lagrange points. And in fact, one of the Lagrange points for Jupiter is in fact properly noted here. You have trailing ones, you have leading ones, whatever. So that's real life. In Aurora, they're like wormholes. So whatever. But they can shorten distances within the system quite significantly. And because what happens is most of the jump points tend to be like out near Uranus and Neptune. And depending on the orbit, depending on the position of the jump point and also the orbit of the planet, because when you stabilize at jump point, the jump point appears like a certain fraction of the orbit ahead or behind the planet itself. So for example, the Uranus Lagrange point might end up here. Well, if we have a jump point stabilized at Earth, then we can just warp out here instantly, and it's much faster to then go to Yaren. We've like cut down the distance by half. So it's really significant. Now, if the Lagrange point for Neptune and Uranus is like here and here, like here you can see there's stuff in the Neptune Lagrange point here, then that's not going to help us at all to get to Tokyo, Georgetown, or Yaren. And it's important also like roughly what the period is of Neptune and Uranus, and they're on the order of like 50, 80 years. So on the scale of this game, if we're in a bad position at the beginning, it's probably going to be a bad position for most of the game. But Saturn and Jupiter, the periods are like 11 years, like in that ballpark. So at the very least, like if you're going from the inner system to Saturn LP, like that's half the distance to Tokyo already covered. So it's pretty cool. It's a lot faster to do this for massive planets than for the little planets. So do keep that in mind. But it is a cool thing that you can do. Okay, we have landed some xenoarchaeology detachments on Mercury, and let's see what happens. There were, in previous versions of the game, there were definitely bugs. So let's see. Sorry, I had a message I had to check. Gotta bring back my events. Actually, let me close a bunch of windows here. Okay. Oh, we didn't have the opportunity to do that because we found a new system, Port-Louis, which is branching off of, I don't know, let's take a look. I'll just scoot this over here. Okay, an empty system, so you can just kind of do a grav survey, I guess. Oh, there's one comet. All right, this connects to Georgetown. Yes, that's a great point, Cliff S., that if you have a binary or a trinary, or even you can have quaternary systems in Aurora that have a huge orbital radius, then if you happen to have massive enough bodies in the primary, you can, and in the orbiting star that's far away, you can bridge that gap with these LPs, which is really cool. Okay, Aldebaran 8 was finished doing what it was doing. It's got plenty of maintenance, so you can just go and explore a new jump point. Aldebaran 2, in a similar situation. How's it doing on maintenance? Doing great on maintenance. Okay. Off you go through the wormhole. Research into construction rate 14 is done. Okay, let's mirror that with mining. Okay, we've discovered Parvilla. Let's just take a quick look at the bodies here. Just 3 little planets. So you know what we're going to do? We're just going to queue up a quick geological survey here. Why didn't it show me the moons? Because they weren't selected. But it's weird that they weren't selected. Anyways. Okay, the gravitational survey of Georgetown is complete. And so, let's go ahead and just transit out of the system and keep exploring. Speaking of which, we have discovered a new system, the Ayun system. Ayun. This is this is a small system, is what's going on here, because there's a pretty weak star with 2 bodies. Okay. The Aldebaran 7 finished its work. It was in, I guess we can just transit to Ayun and help with the grav survey there. Research lab, a new research lab was built. The Aldebaran 3, I believe, has almost finished the grav survey, yes. Alright, maintenance is still good. Let's head to a new jump point. And we've built some more freighters. We're building up our freighter capacity, as usual. Just put them in the appropriate cargo fleet. We're not using the cargo fleet right now. Oh, wait, this reminds me. What's going on with the atmosphere here, guys? Oh, no. Did we, Oh, okay. Actually, it's not so bad. We're almost there with the water. Let's actually shift and let's warm up the place a little bit, because that's what's actually holding us back in terms of the colony cost. So let's add our Astusium. 0.24 should be enough. Okay, gravitational survey is complete in Port-Louis. Only 2 years maintenance. Head on through. Okay, the Colombo system has a number of interesting bodies. And the Budapest system appears mostly empty, but there are a few interesting bodies. Why don't we queue up manually a quick inspection of these bodies here, of these system bodies. Okay, Aldebaran 5 has completed its overhaul. Now let's take a look at the galaxy map here. Alright, so we have east is Tokyo, west is Yaren, north is Georgetown. There are no new jump points really left beyond, out of Tokyo. It connects to Managua, so why don't we send the Discovery 5, I I always called them the Discovery because I was just playing a game where those were my survey ships, but the Aldebaran 5. And let's send you through Tokyo and then to Managua. Okay, Missile Launcher Rate 3 has been researched. We're just gonna go through a lot of these basic missile techs to get up to speed. Polaris 7. Queue up some more. We still have a bit of time before we have to design our escort ships, because, you know, these naval shipyards take a while to grow. Okay, interesting. So, xenoarchaeology on Mercury has revealed that an alien race which had inhabited the planet has been identified as the Alabash, and their language and symbology have been translated. 18 abandoned installations were identified as suitable for potential recovery by a construction brigade, which we did not build or design, really. Yeah, so let's do that. New formation. So they call them brigades, but I'm calling these detachments. So I'm going to do the usual 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. 16 of those. I must have mistyped something here, because... Oh, these are bigger. So they're bigger. Okay, so maybe we can do 12. Small logistics, 3. I'm gonna really cut back, actually, on these support units to squeeze out more engineering stuff. There we go. We can get 14. This is really designed to be like a factory, not like combat engineering. We can get 4 more. So let's do 54 like this. Oh, we don't even need a double in HQ. We just need 1 here. $270. Okay, let's do that. Edit. I could do 5 more. Okay, let's train some construction detachments. And actually, let's have our troop transports on Mercury, load up these xenoarchaeology teams and bring them back to Earth. I guess refuel while you're there. Okay, the Aurora 6 has finished overhaul. Why don't you head over to El Ayun? Okay, we've discovered the Singapore system. This branches out from El Ayun over here. And the Singapore appears to be a binary, but not too large of a binary, which is cool. Aha, we have built the first North Star class jump stabilization ship. Now this is very exciting because what we want to do is, first of all, we're going to create another one. And we are going to have it stabilize the Georgetown gate right away. Because we want to colonize that moon. Okay, mining production. Let's follow that up with wealth. Aldebaran 2. Maintenance at 2.93. Actually, let's take a look back at the galaxy map and okay, so this is in El Ayun. So let's have you do the geosurvey real quick while you're there. And actually in the same system, the Aldebaran 7 is done its work. Now its maintenance clock is at 3.4 years, so I think it is time to go home. Okay, construction detachments have been built. So let's deploy them from Earth. '18 and the 17th. Head to Mercury. Back on Earth. And back to Mercury. Okay, so we see we've already started to recover some things. We've recovered a factory, just stuff, which is cool. Okay, we built a 5th terraforming station, which is cool. What I would like to do now is build. Okay, so what what I'm hoping happens is that we finish terraforming Mars quickly. Actually, I might do it because I was thinking, oh, I need to build some infrastructure to send to Georgetown. But no, by the time the jump gate is stabilized, Mars will be terraformed, and then we can just use the infrastructure on Mars and send that to Georgetown instead. So first things first. Oh wait, where did we... it's in space stations. Let's tow this to Mars. The other thing we need to do is Luna is a wonderful colony. It doesn't really need for us to actively send... Oh, good. It's a destination of... Yeah, no, destination we don't need. It can just be stable. Stable growth. Because we don't want to empty Earth and have all of the people on Earth head over to the moon. Weird stuff like that can happen if you're not careful with your population. Okay. I totally forgot to have Earth's industry do anything useful. So I guess... Honestly, more terraforming stations are always good. All right, Aldebaran 2 finished doing... the geosurvey. Okay, let's have you go back and get a bit of a tune-up before we send you out on another mission. Polaris was built. Some freighters were built. Did we queue up more? Oh, we did. All right. Okay, the ice sheet has melted on Mars. The colony cost is still 2 because the atmosphere is not breathable because there's too much oxygen as a percentage of the total atmosphere. But once we add more astusium, which is sort of fantasy, sci-fi, hot air, or a greenhouse gas, but a safe greenhouse gas. More freighters. Let me just do a quick logistics check here. The 8, 4, and 3, and 1, we need to keep our eye on. So 8, 4, 3, 1. Let's queue up some orders here. Okay, good thing we checked. Okay, so let's take a look at the galaxy map here. This is, if we look from Sol, we're already out to the north and to the west. We're already out like 16 billion kilometers. But to the east here, beyond Tokyo and Managua, we still have a work to do. So I think we'll definitely send some ships out this way next. And the Georgetown system, the jump gate to Georgetown, has been stabilized, which is really cool. Why don't we take a quick look at the other systems? Like, have we surveyed Parvida? Yes. Okay, nothing interesting. Tokyo we've talked about, not very interesting. But what about Managua? Okay, a lot of quantity, but the accessibility is pretty low on this planet. I feel like we talked about this planet already. About the system already. No, we didn't. I don't remember this gas giant. Okay. Okay, low accessibility, but a decent gas... I mean, 0.6 accessibility is not fantastic on Sorium, but... we haven't had much luck elsewhere. Uranium, Sorium... 2 comets. Alright, actually it's a bit disappointing. It seemed promising at first. Yaren is pretty barren. Elayun. Oh. Well, this is nice. This is a pretty nice mining colony. Tritanium, Mercasium, Venerite, Corundium. Decent accessibility. Good quantities. No hydrosphere, but it's kind of like Mars, Venus-ish. You know, the diameter's not too bad. Temperature's good. We can make something happen here, folks. I like this one. El Ayun 2. Okay, and so therefore, let's stabilize down this way. Sol to Yaren to El Ayun. Okay, we have finished exploring all of the alien ruins on Mercury. Why are there 3 million people living there all of a sudden? I guess it must be because part of what we recovered was a whole bunch of infrastructure. And people just love to go live places, so they went to live on Mercury. Guys, this is a bad idea. Okay, other things were discovered here. We discovered infrastructure. We discovered 6 million liters of fuel, 11,000 tons of uranium, 4,400 tons of tritanium, 7,000 tons of gallicite. As well as ground force construction complex, a construction factory, ordnance factory, mine, automated mine, financial center, spaceport infrastructure, just like random stuff. a whole bunch of random stuff. And we found a spaceport. That is weird. All right, I'll tell you what. We need to get people. This is not a long-term colony. We're not actually going to colonize Mercury. This is what we want. We do not want more colonists to come here. Now, I don't know if this diverts my own colony ships, and we're about to find out. So I want you to go to Mercury and load colonists, and we'll bring them to Mars. And I guess you can refuel from Earth, and we'll cycle this. Meanwhile, the cargo fleet is going to go to Mercury, and we're going to load all minerals and bring them to Earth. We'll just do that quickly. And then we'll have tankers go to Mercury, load all that fuel. We only need one tanker to do it, so we'll take the tanker number 4. Go to Mercury, refuel from colony, go to Earth, transfer fuel to colony. Speaking of which, these tankers should also transfer fuel to colony. And actually, you might as well just go ahead and rejoin the tanker fleet after you're done. All right, let's issue these orders. Okay, I think we got all the minerals off. Good. And the population, my colony ships seem to be lowering the population here, which is what we wanted. Now, let's go and get these installations. Ground Forces Complex, unload. After that, we'll do Construction Factory. I don't want to be bothered with the micro figuring out exactly how many freighters it's going to take for each of these, so we're just going to do one trip for each. Ordnance Factory. A random mine. Might as well refuel. Head back. Automated mines. Financial centers. And let's wait there. Okay, the tankers have finished their job. Okay, the cargo fleet finished its job too. What is the situation now on Mercury? Still 2 million people. Oh, the ground forces complex was not completely removed, so let's do that again. Ground complex. Let's just do that. Okay, let's do the starport now. I think we'll need 2 trips. Might actually need more. Oh yeah, we need more. Those are big installations. We don't need 2 spaceports at Earth. I just wanted to put it somewhere so we can kind of close down the Mercury colony completely. That should do it. Meanwhile, Mars, how's your terraforming doing? Almost there. Still a tiny bit of spaceport left. Okay, pickup failed was actually a good message that time. Okay, terraforming report says that we finished adding astusium to the Martian atmosphere, which means it should be warm enough now. It is warm enough, but there's still a bit too much oxygen. And we don't really need to make the planet any warmer. We've got enough water. We just need to adjust this. So what we're going to do is we're going to pump a little bit of nitrogen into the air. And that should take care of the last little bit of terraforming that Mars needs. And then we finished some construction production research. Let's queue up some more. Let's definitely do shipyards. Okay, we finished missile launcher rate tech at a pretty high level. Let's go to missile agility now. And the Aldebaran 7 has completed its overhaul. And we want it to go east, and east is Tokyo and then Managua, so let's go that way. And the Aldebaran 2 has also finished its overhaul. I guess we go to... This was, I said, the Aldebaran 2. You just help in Managua itself. we have built a second Polaris, and we're going to build a third one because they're just so much fun to have. We also built North Star. Oh, I have both the North Star and the Polaris. That's why I got confused, because because those refer to the same body. Let's get to work on stabilizing Earth's jump point, because that does take a very long time. And we're not in a rush to stabilize, all the jump gates to other planetary systems. And we built some freighters. Let's keep that going. Okay, we've discovered a new system, the Lima system. Reasonable size, couple of bodies. Why don't we take a quick peek? See what's going on. All right, everybody. Sorry, I had to step away there suddenly. But we're back. I forgot what we were doing. So let's bring up the events window. The overhaul of the Aldebaran 1 was finished, and I bet we were deciding where we were going to send it. That's what I would do. Looks like we can send something to Port Vila, so let's do that. Okay, and we have completely evacuated the colony at Mercury, which is great news. So now we can safely get all the infrastructure off. So, and we've stabilized the jump point to Georgetown, so we're actually gonna get all this infrastructure off to Georgetown right off the bat. So let's get the cargo fleet set up to do that. Earth refuel, Mercury, load installation infrastructure, Georgetown, unload all installations, Seoul, and that's it. Let's cycle those moves. Oh, and I have to tell the colony fleet to chill out. Still a few colonists, so we can just have... Go put them on Mars for now. Mars, incidentally, has been completely terraformed now. Excellent. Why do we have argon? Look, it's a mystery. Who knows? Oh no, this is Earth. Sorry, guys. I thought I had scraped the argon out of this atmosphere, but yeah. I was like, wait a minute, 20% oxygen? Like, isn't this the Earth's atmosphere? Anyways, a little slow. All right, so we're done terraforming Mars. So let's actually, importantly, let's set this to none. Otherwise, it just keeps doing stuff, which is not what we want. But this is a fine balance. And now we're going to take the tugs to... we're going to use the tugs to move the terraformers out to Georgetown. Because that's more important, I think, than terraforming the moon. Even though, strangely enough, the moon actually has minerals. We have stuff that's worth mining here, but those other systems are going to be a higher priority. So let's get these orders set up. Let's just top off on fuel. Not Mars, but we'll go directly to the... they have just sort of an individual fleets here. Tractor Alpha Centauri A. Tractor Alpha Centauri B. Georgetown Transit. Release tractor ships. Back through Seoul. And then let's just have you refuel here, and we'll take it from there. Okay, the colony fleet is paused right now. It's orbiting Mars, but we will have it manually send people over to Georgetown soon enough. I just want to make sure there's infrastructure there first. Our missile technology is progressing. Let's get a bit more agility. Gravitational survey is complete in Singapore. Maintenance is doing okay. Why don't we quickly do a geological survey here and then head home? Okay, and the gravitational survey has been done in Managua. This is by the Aldebaran 5. Maintenance is, if I tell it to do geosurvey, it'll be here for years. So why don't we actually head home and refuel, resupply, and overhaul, and then we can come back and do finish up this geosurvey. Okay, the game's just chugging along. New mineral deposits being found all over the place. Let's just take a quick look at our survey ships, make sure nothing has broken or has exploded. Good. And in Port Vila, I think we finished the geo survey. Let's finish the grav survey then. Only a few points left to survey here. Okay, overhaul of the Aldebaran 4 has been completed. All right, let's take a look at the galaxy map again. So we know there's not much in Tokyo. Georgetown has something interesting, which we're colonizing. So does El Ayun. What's in Managua? We've looked at this, right? But I don't think anything here was... Yeah, we've looked at this system. And we're just surveying all the asteroids, just because I like to be complete. Now, what about Lima? Aha. Okay, we're definitely colonizing this system. Now, there's no water, but the planets are average size, so we could add a hydrosphere if we needed. And all of these planets have sort of average deposits. I definitely want to be colonizing this system. Okay, so that's going to be sort of a priority. Now, if we go out here, what did we find in Port Vila? Nothing. We really haven't surveyed much of Budapest in terms of the grav survey, but we did do the mineral survey. Sorium, tritanium, I mean, decent. Oh, but this is a very high colony cost. This is a Venus-like world. The planet that's more easy to colonize doesn't really have much going for it in terms of minerals. Colombo we didn't really survey, so we definitely need to send some survey ships up here. So we have the Aldebaran 4. Let's send it north to Colombo to do a geological survey. And then, what's the deal in Singapore? We're still going to survey these. We don't know. Oh, there's a binary. Oh, there's nothing on the second system. Okay. there's so from the Sol system, it's still 10 billion kilometers to Georgetown. It's going to be 12 billion to El Ayun, and 10 billion to Lima. So, you know, the gap between colonies is not huge, but it's, you know, it's a pretty long trip. The Aldebaran 3 completed its overhaul. Why don't we send it to Budapest? To finish the grav survey there. Okay, we've built more freighters, and we're going to keep building these freighters. In fact, what I should have done a while ago is I should have added slipways here, but we didn't, so too bad. I'm going to build another tanker. I should build another tug. I should retool this for a tug. Well, whatever. Okay. Colony ship. Let's add our colony. We've got 3 colony ships. Let's start moving people from Luna, I think. To Georgetown. Let's send a troop garrison there. What is the range on these ships? 30, good. What about the... Okay, the range is more than enough, but worth checking, because... Yeah, definitely worth checking. Oh, I forgot to queue up No, I did queue them up. Okay, excellent. Research. Overhaul of Aldebaran 8 is complete. You know, I think we're going to send it to Managua to just get to work on those asteroids. Not that this is not like a priority for me, but as just a completionist, it bothers me that the survey there isn't finished. Okay, more missile technology, missile agility was discovered. Let's do warhead strength. shipyard time has been researched here. Let's do shipbuilding. It occurs to me that I should reallocate my best terraforming governor, who oversaw the terraforming of oh, apparently we had nobody assigned to terraform. Whatever, that's dumb on my part. Well, the person who was going to be the governor of Luna and we'll assign some pop growth governors to Luna and Mars. Okay, we have stabilized the jump point all the way to Elayun, and that's important because we have a planet here that we would like to colonize. And we've also decided that the Lima system was really interesting to us. Not Managua, but Lima. So let's have this ship here. Actually, let's just peek quickly at Singapore. Oh, epic deposits. Unfortunately, the accessibility is very low. Okay, so let's have, oh, not the survey ship, but let's have the North Star 1. Head back through Yaren to Seoul. While you're here, might as well refuel and then head to Tokyo. Stabilize, transit, stabilize, stabilize, transit, stabilize, stabilize, transit, stabilize. Warhead strength for our missiles. Okay, the Aldebaran 6 has completed the geological survey of Singapore, which involved a lot of asteroid surveying. How are we doing on maintenance here? Oh yeah, we're due for a break. Okay, our troop transport deployed our garrison battalion to the moon in Georgetown. We've got a new Aldebaran ready to go. Where shall we send it? Just based on sort of like distance, I think we go east to Lima. And transit this way. Okay, the survey of Port Vila is complete. How's the Aldebaran 1 doing? Oh, it's fine. Let's go and explore a new system. And we have a third North Star that has been built. We don't really know yet if Colombo's worth, if it's worth stabilizing to Colombo. But what I will do is I'll take this third North Star, we'll detach it, and I will start stabilizing like the other jump points in the Sol system. Okay, a new system, the Ankara system, which neighbors Port Vila. And it appears to be a fairly large system. So we have a large asteroid belt about 20 billion kilometers from the primary. Although the planets in the primary here are not too, like the core planets are not too far, too spread out. There's a Lagrange point in here. Now there's a secondary out here. And there's no Lagrange point already, but if we could get there and stabilize one of these, well, let's take a look actually. So Ankara B does have potential, and certainly the planets are massive enough to stabilize. So this we could, it would be an epic undertaking, but we could make something happen if we really, really wanted to. Let's just start with the graph survey, which I'm pretty sure is what Aldebaran 1 was scheduled to do anyways. So we can make the jump here. We could stabilize at a Lagrange point out here. The problem is getting the stabilization ship out there. Like, that's 65 billion kilometers. It's going to take a very long time. Okay, we've built a 6th terraforming station. What I would like to do now is start investing. Okay, actually, there's a few things I want to build. Let's see, what do we want here? Let's get a couple things for our new colonies. I'm going to want a couple of deep tracking stations, like one on each of these colonies. So, and the colonies I'm thinking of setting up are, we have the one in Georgetown. I also want to set up a colony down here in El Ayoun, and we were thinking about Lima as well. So let's start thinking about this. We have an extra spaceport, but spaceports are massive and pretty expensive. We might not need spaceports on all of these colonies. Let's start building some of this other infrastructure we're going to want. We're going to need some tracking stations. We're going to need some maintenance facilities. To keep some ships parked in orbit. Especially supply ships. Survey ships. The spaceport is gonna. Yeah, I think we're gonna want 2 spaceports for these colonies. Let's create 2 spaceports. We've got 2 freighters here, which we're going to start a second cargo fleet here. This is going to be the cargo fleet for. This is going to be cargo west. This is cargo north. So cargo west is going to do Earth, refuel, Mars load infrastructure, Elayun, unload all installations, Sol, cycle. We've discovered a new system, the Banjul system, which is beyond Lima. And Banjul is a quaternary. So we've got 3 stars orbiting the primary. And then, well, okay, so we have Banjul B is the secondary, far out. Then Banjul C is orbiting Banjul A, and Banjul D is orbiting Banjul B. But none of them have planets except for a small dwarf planet. So this is 4 stars and 1 planet. A very odd system arrangement. But there you have it. Small stars, 4 of them. Okay, we built some more freighters. We'll wait for... Oh no. I didn't mean to build more colony ships, but we could always use them. It's not the end of the world. By the way, how are the tugs doing? They're 25% fuel. Where are they? Okay, they still have a ways to go. We need to take a tanker, I think, and detach it. Earth refuel from colony, and I want you to go this way. And find the tugs. Join and refuel target fleet. Now this might cause some errors. It did in the last playthrough, and I'm curious to test this again, which is why I'm doing it. Incidentally, how is this colony doing here? Okay, there's annual growth. So we can handle more people. So actually building more colony ships is not such a terrible call at this point. We're getting low fuel warnings from the tugs, but that's why we sent a tanker Probably should have sent the tanker sooner. Could have anticipated this, but better late than never, I suppose. Okay. In terms of our missile tech, I mean, we were good with the missiles. Let's get a bit of magazine improvements here, so our missiles don't blow up the entire ship by accident if somebody sneezes too hard. Okay, we've stabilized the drum point around Saturn. The Lagrange point, not the jump point. And you see that it is over here. So now I'm going to go out and do Uranus. Why does the fuel harvesting base... Oh, it's been full this whole time. Why didn't I get a message? That is odd. It's set as a tanker. Conscript, no armor. Minimum fuel. That's really too bad. That's really unfortunate. Aha. This error is still present, so let me just take a quick screenshot of that because I do want to repost it in the bug reporting thread. In fact, it's a little tricky to get out of this because... Oh, wait. Okay, it only gave me the error once. Hang on, let me save the database. This is probably gonna... We're probably gonna get a spam of error messages here. What was I? Oh, I wanted to go here. Tugs. Kappa, refuel on fleet. Okay, let's just do a quick test here. If the fleet is moving, we do get the errors. Okay. Even though, like, it can't. This is interesting. So the error here is that the Alpha Centauri class terraforming base has literally no fuel capacity at all, and the game just can't handle having the tankers like refuel themselves like this. So I actually wonder what happens. What happens if I tell the tugs to go to the tanker instead? Refuel from stationary tanker. Let's see if this causes an explosion. Not literally an explosion. Oh, attempted to divide this by 858. Okay, same problem. Really interesting. Okay. Okay, let me take a moment just to write this up in the bug report thread. This is an update for the bug that I signaled with 1.6.3, which I have confirmed still exists in 1.8.1. Fleet with a ship with absolutely no fuel capacity, such as a station being towed by a tug. If you select a tanker fleet and issue the join fleet and refuel order, you will get a divide by 0 error 854. The errors multiple per time increment persist until you attach the tanker. If instead you have the tug space station fleet target the tanker fleet and quote refuel from stationary tankers, you get a divide by 0 error 858. And let's test that there's a workaround, which is that we can just release the tractor chips here, refuel, and then keep going. So let's do that. Then refuel. And we'll take it from there. I got the errors still, but it worked. And now oh wow, that's weird. So I released them at the fleet and it put them, that's why we got the errors, because it puts them in that fleet. That's weird. Okay. Oh, now they're all this. Okay, this is weird. Rename TFB just so I don't go crazy, And now the tugs will go pick up these stations again. Just got to do some micro to get around this bug for now and release the ships there. And then we can go back to Sol and refuel at Earth. Meanwhile, this tanker where did it go? Yeah, this fleet, why don't we just park you here for now at this jump point in case we need your services later. Okay, problem handled. Let me just finish posting this. Oh, let me just make a copy of the database here. In case it's needed. $180 divided by 0. Good. Oh, I forgot to post. All right, magazine efficiency is being researched. Okay, Aldebaran 7 finished the gravitational survey in Lima. So first of all, let's check how our maintenance is doing. We could probably go take a look here. Magazines. Let's at least get this level of tech done. Now after this, I'm going to start actually designing some systems here for our upcoming military project. The shipyards are almost big enough. Oh, we added a slipway where? Oh no, I added a slipway to the wrong shipyard. Or, well, I don't know why we added a slipway to this shipyard. I never wanted to. I guess now we have... Okay, that's weird. Okay, on Earth we built some extra installations that we want to disperse to these colonies, which is nice. Oh, but we still have the spaceports queued up. Okay, we'll let those get built then. Looks like we have a new system, the Taipei system. Okay. So first of all, where's this? What does this connect to? Taipei connects to Lima. So we've explored all the jump points out of Lima. We have Banjul and Taipei. Now, Taipei is pretty interesting. It is at least a... Oh, it's not a binary. This is just a planet that's way out there. All right. That's weird. Okay, so it's not a very massive... It's not a very massive star. But for some reason, Taipei 10 is a super Jovian that just orbits a ridiculous distance away from the store. Now, it has a Lagrange point, but even the Lagrange point to the system is like hundreds of billions of kilometers away. And we've got this massive asteroid cloud, kind of like 50 billion kilometers out from the star. So all of this is pretty useless. There's also Taipei 9 is way out there. So we'll never realistically, use those. However, from Taipei 8 inwards, we have a totally reasonable little system here. And, the mass of the star isn't too large, so we can actually do the grav survey here reasonably. So this is the kind of system where we're only going to really touch the inside part of the system and not really the outer part of the system. So let's let that grav survey happen. Oh, I did not want to close Aurora. In fact, let's just save the database. Write to disk. Okay, shipbuilding rate has been complete. Fuel production seems like a reasonable thing to improve. I should check on the logistics of my ships. Okay, we're actually doing pretty good. We have an inactive lab. Pilot on top there. Keep going. Okay, so the naval shipyards are technically ready. Now, my feeling is that we're going to want increased production of the frigates and possibly of the kind of escort class battle cruiser. Another battle cruiser is just going to be kind of like a jump cruiser. We're not going to want a lot of those necessarily. So let's just queue those slipway changes because we're not quite ready to design or build those ships. Okay, the magazines are at a decent spot. Now, I guess the main issue here is, do I upgrade the engine tech before we make these ships? And I kind of think the answer is yes. We could do improved nuclear pulse. These are going to have to last. These ships are going to last a long time. They're going to be a pain to refit. Let's do it. Aldebaran 6 has finished its overhaul. So let's take a look at the galaxy map and see where we would want to send. Oh, we need to go back out to Singapore, I think. Aldebaran 6. Auto route to Singapore. Okay, in Budapest we have completed the gravitational survey. We have 2 unexplored jump points. Let's head through one of them. Ah, the tugs have returned to Earth, so I didn't notice when they got dropped off over here in Georgetown. Okay, let's take a look. This is a barren planet, 2.4 colony cost. We need to fix the temperature mostly and then just add a bit of water. So, and I guess oxygen would be nice too. So why don't we start by making it a bit warmer. 0.2 ATM of astucium. Now we need to get the... Alright, you know, here's what we need to be doing. Okay, let's refuel, just in case we didn't. Then let's take the Alpha Centauri 3 and the Alpha Centauri 4. Let's at least transit there, and then we'll refuel once we get there. But, you know, we're going to take these this weird shipyard, and we're going to increase the capacity up to, like, at least, I don't know, 50,000. And we're going to make some big tugs out of these shipyards. You know what I really should be doing is I should take the tugs, and it's too late now. Well, it's not too late, but it's inefficient. But what I should have done is taken the 2 tugs and just at least parked the terraformers in the orbit of Luna so they could do some work on Luna, because it takes forever to go all the way to Georgetown. I always forget the name of Georgetown. Okay, we've discovered the Canberra system, which neighbors Budapest. And what is here? A couple of dwarf planets with a binary, close-in binary. Okay. You know what? Why don't you go ahead and do a little quick geological survey while you're here. Somebody just pinged me in the chat. I am there. I'll just answer them. Oh, let's close some of these windows here. Oh, about the bug. Okay, let me see how he wrote it. Let me just check this quickly. So I'm just reading this post here. So we have 2 fleets. No engines, no fuel. Tanker refueling system plus a tug. So move order to tug the station. Yeah, I did find a workaround. I don't know if you're listening on the stream. I'll type it just in case. Okay, we have a shipyard modified. We added a slipway somewhere on Earth. Where could that have been? Ah, here. Let's keep adding slipways. Let's make some of these freighters in the meantime. We got changes to the terrain in Georgetown. Yeah, because now we're colony cost 2, so we need to make it breathable next. Well, it'd be nice if it was warmer too. So we'll finish the Astusium and then we'll do the rest. You know, we should just send these tugs to Layun, not to Georgetown. That is what I've decided I'm going to do. But let's send a tanker. And at least Yaren. And let's move it to the jump gate here. So it'll be in the neighborhood if we need it. New system discovered. The Manila system has been discovered. It is beyond Singapore. And, oh, plenty of interesting bodies. The scale is not excessive. We could certainly do a geological survey here. We've got enough maintenance to... Oh, yeah, this is 4 months, not 4 years. Good. Let's do it. defense. Orders complete. The North Star 3. We stabilized the Uranus jump point. And let's go to Neptune now. Stabilize that Lagrange point. So you can see that the Uranus LP is actually over here, which is fantastic for us. So once the Earth LP gets stabilized, we're going to be able to jump right out to these jump points. That's fantastic. That's a great location. Okay, the Aldebaran 2 is pretty tired, actually. Let's have it head back to Sol. Refuel, begin overhaul. We're wrapping up the asteroid survey here in Managua, which took a while. In Georgetown, the asteroid, the ice sheet has melted. We're getting up to minus 23. We'll put in a bit of oxygen after this, and then a bit more astusium. Actually, we could do a bit. Let's bring the astusium just to 0.24, because that's what we're going to need anyways. I think. Okay, we have developed an incrementally better engine. Our ships currently run on nuclear powered engines. We have developed the improved nuclear powered engines, but I think we're going to go straight to ion engines before we kind of modernize the whole fleet. So let's get that going. It also is relevant because if we're about to do missiles really benefit from good engine technology. Okay, Aldebaran 8 also finished this epic asteroid survey. Now, its maintenance isn't too far along, but something broke and we had to use a bunch of MSP, so I don't want to risk getting stranded. So we're also going to head back to Earth to refuel and resupply and begin an overhaul. And you know something that I realized that we should do is we should make sure these settings are correct. So we want Mars to be stable, Luna to be stable, Mercury should be abandoned, really. Oh, there's still some infrastructure here. So as soon as that infrastructure is off the planet, we will abandon it. And it looks like people have started colonizing Elayun, which is good. We put a bit of infrastructure there, so people got the message. All right, in Georgetown, terraforming here is complete. So we added astusium 0.24. Let's add oxygen. .1, and then let's also not forget, let's send some garrison to Elayun. Troop transports. Earth. Load. Here, we'll do the 9th and 10th. And send you to Elayun. Then back to Sol. Refuel. freighter built. Let's keep building them. Since we are we don't really need all these ships to be sending infrastructure to Georgetown anymore, because Georgetown is about to be terraformed. So, but I still want to get rid of the infrastructure here on Mercury. Let's look at the map. We've almost stabilized Tolima. I think what I'll do with these guys is we'll just take them from... do I have any Jovians that are worth colonizing here? Europa? Yeah, Europa. And Callisto. Okay, let's set up a few... let's set this up here. So Cargo North is going to do... Let's get Europa. Okay, let's do moons. Add colony on Europa and Callisto. Where is Europa? Oh, I bet we already have a civilian colony there. Yeah, the Morse Company is already there, but that's okay because we're going to create an imperial colony there. And so let's have Cargo North go to, well, let's do Callisto first here, unload installations. Let's just do this quickly. And yeah, let's get that done for starters. Okay, got new colony ships that were finally built. So what's colony? The main colony fleet is going to Georgetown, right? Yeah. Oh, something else I want to check is what did we fix the situation with the fuel harvesting base? Yeah, it's slowly getting fuel out of Saturn. That's another thing I want to take a look at in a moment. But first, so my colony fleet is taking people out to Georgetown. That is fine by me. And in fact, since we're heading to Earth, what we're going to do now is we're going to take these two. We're going to detach. This is a good way to combine fleets. Fleets, colony, fleet, join. Since they're on the way back, they'll intercept them, join them, and then just inherit their orders. So that's good. Now, what I want to do is get more freighters. Okay. Let's take a look if there's a local source of sorium. Oh, there is. Elion 1 is a gas giant with sorium. So this system will have mines, but it'll also have like its own fuel source here. So we're definitely going to want to get a fuel harvesting station towed out to Elion. Now, what about Georgetown? There's got to be sorium in here, right? I know I can use the search button, but it's kind of... I don't mind just looking it up like this. Reminds me what else is in the system. Yeah, we got another colony here, potentially. But this will be terrestrial. There's not a gas giant here that we would mine it from. Okay. In Aldebaran 3, I think we finished the geological survey, and all we found was a bit of boronite. And, you know, comets. So that's nice. So that means you, assuming you have enough maintenance, yeah, you kind of do, you should go and help finish with the grav survey. We have finally stabilized Earth's Lagrange point, which means we now have a direct jump point from the inner solar system out to I thought there was an LP out here. Oh, it moved. That's really unfortunate. Well, anyways, so okay, it's not as awesome as it could have been. Still, we can go from inner to like Jupiter's. That's not nothing. We skip this much. And if we're going out to Yaren, it's probably faster to jump to LP3 here. Look, it's better than nothing. I'll take it. All right. And what I'm going to do is since there's nothing really I need to... This is the North Star 2. Then I need to do sort of, you know, expanding our borders really far. We're going to go ahead and stabilize Venus as well. Because, you know, sometimes, depending on the orbits, it might make more sense to... Anyways, to have a second option diametrically opposed. Okay, Cargo North picked up the last of the infrastructure at Mercury. So let's drop it off at Callisto. I think we need to get some more colony garrisons. And we should go ahead and drop off some garrison. At Callisto. I'm surprised that Callisto does not yet have people on it, but I guess the civilians will come shortly. Slipway added somewhere. Where? Ah, here at the shipyard that produces the frigates. Okay, Cargo North put some infrastructure on Callisto. Now, what I want it to do is... just as a test, I'd like to go and load infrastructure on Mars and go to the colony which is on Europa, which is Morris. I just want to see if that creates our actual colony that we can do stuff with. Order complete. Oh no, here, Morris. So they have infrastructure now, but I want it to be my own. Okay, this is a little weird. I have to investigate how to do this. Because... Sorry for the mic bump. Let me just lean forward here. actually never encountered this before. Let's see if people go there. This seems a little weird. I'm actually going to detach one of these colony ships. Have it go to Morris. I want to see what happens if we do this. Alright, research complete for fuel production. I'm going to take a pause on CP research to knock out this engine tech here. I'm going to put all our labs into it. Okay, we have a few things have happened. So first of all, in Georgetown, we've added enough oxygen, and now we just need to add water vapor. And it will be fully terraformed. Also, we finished building those 2 spaceports that are destined for the outer colonies. Oh, Mercury is done in the sense that we have now completely erased all traces of our inhabitation there. So, okay, let me just save this before we click any big delete buttons. Okay, Mercury. There are colonies that have no... Oh, this is interesting. They have no colony, no ground for... Huh. Didn't know there was a... But there. Cool. It's interesting. It did not, in fact, delete it. Or maybe it did and I have to refresh. Oh, because we have ground units there still. Really? We have, of course we do. Silly me. Okay, that explains that. The Aldebaran 4 finished the geosurvey out in Colombo. Maintenance is a little stretched, so let's head back home. Refuel, overhaul. Meanwhile, anything interesting in Colombo? Potential for further ground surveys, definitely. Ooh, Colombo 4. Good accessibility on these minerals, but it's a low gravity planet, which is a bit annoying. Alright, a decent gas giant. Small moons. Pretty forgettable gas giant here. Low gravity moons. Pretty bad gas giant. And then a terrestrial planet with exactly on the nose 100 million corbomite. That's a suspicious number there. Okay, so there's actually, maybe at some point we'll investigate, we'll do a geosurvey on Colombo 1 and 2. If the accessibility of these increases, that'd be really nice. But for now, there's not much there. Okay. I dropped population here. Now we control this place, but it's like integrated. We also have the civilian mines. This is actually weird. I don't know if this is intended, but it's like we've merged, and we have a civilian colony merged into an imperial colony. The political status is imperial population. If you click here, oh no, it's also imperial population. There's just no population there. Okay, look, this is new because I've actually had a game in C#. This was an earlier build where I had my own colony on a planet, and there was also, because I colonized it after a civilian colony, but there are two independent colonies running on the same planet, the civilian colony and our imperial colony. But here they appear to have merged together. I mean, this is not such a big balance upsetting thing in this particular case. Like, if the effect of this is that I end up just stealing like these mines, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, I can live with that. Okay, so but we'll keep Europa. Europa is now Morris Company, which is fine. Let's okay, so that was a colony ship here that we just used to test this. What I want to do now is use cargo north to dispense. Okay, first of all, how's cargo west doing? They just don't have a lot of ships in their fleet. Now, have we stabilized east to Lima? Not quite. Okay, we can do a few rounds in the Sol system of refueling and then doing Mars. Load infrastructure to Callisto. Mars load infrastructure to Morris. Earth refuel. We could do that for a little bit. Aldebaran 6 in Manila, I believe, has finished the geological survey. Correct. So let's switch over to a graph survey. I think we're good on maintenance. Yeah. We are fine on maintenance. Okay, we've researched the gas-cooled reactor, which means we are ready for ion drives. Inactive lab. This time, like an idiot, I've just left 40% of my construction capacity completely idle. Good job, self. I want to get some fuel harvesting stations out, at least one more, which will send down to El Ayun. I think now we can get rid of Mercury. Okay, what is left here? Why won't you let me delete this colony? It's military restricted. Oh my god. All right, because we had some stockpile of components here. God, there's always like a little detail. Okay. Let's get a little cargo fleet going here. Quickly head to Mercury. Load what? I don't think we can transfer components. Oh, we can. All right, Earth. Unload all ship components. Done. Now, can we please delete the colony on Mercury? Why not? Unbelievable. I mean, I guess I can click this delete pop button, right? What does it do? Okay, let's save. That seems like a good idea before hitting a button that says delete. Gotta take this call. Just a moment. All right, let's see if this works. Okay, I did. You saw me say yes, I wanted to delete it, right? Okay, I did have to refresh the window. Okay, good. Now I hope I didn't delete like the planet. That would be a little overpowered. No. Okay. Good. Okay, that happened successfully. I'm happy with that. And you know what? This is a good time to end this stream. Oh, I had a nice 3 hours. So, things are moving along at an interesting pace. I've got a few bottlenecks here. So the terraforming bases are very efficient, but tugging them, getting them places, I really need bigger tugs, which is what we're kind of slowly working our way up to doing here. But that's going to be an issue. So yeah, that's going to be an issue moving forward, is just having more efficient tugging going along. And I might have to take these little tugs that I'm currently using and just keep them in the Sol system, and we'll use the big tugs to do intrasolar jumps, because yeah, that's pretty painful. And actually, let me just double check to see where the tugs are at right now. Almost out of fuel is where they're at. We do have a tanker, though, ready to escort them. So when they're in the Yaren system, and I think I have a tanker here waiting for them, so this tanker can come and help them out. So we'll have to remember to do that. But yeah, that is like this is basically going to be terraformed very quickly. And afterwards, we can even start terraforming other planets in the Georgetown system just to colonize for the heck of it. And with these colonies that are set up, we're going to have a nice mineral income. We shouldn't run into any mineral scarcity issues because we found like good corundium and we've got uranium on Europa and stuff like that. So I think our mineral base is going to be pretty good. And we are starting to build a real bunch of, or we're starting to design a serious navy. We didn't want to have absolutely no navy, so we've been kind of fielding a dozen or so of these spinal laser frigates. They'll get a quick overhaul once we get our ion engines designed, but they'll be accompanied by some battle cruisers for PD support, anti-missile missiles, things like that. So, that's what my research is going to be doing in the meantime, but we're kind of expanding our mining operations, I think, in our colonies. We just need more people. Mars is terraformed, so that's growing nicely. Earth growth is barely keeping ahead of the worker needs, so that's okay. And we just started colonies on the 2 Jovian moons that had minerals that were worth it, but that's slowly shaping up. We have our colony on El Ayun over here, which has just good resources, including corundium. And the other place where I want to set up a colony is here in Lima, once it's stabilized, because we have, in particular here, I believe Lima 3. Honestly, I don't know which one I'd go for first, but Lima, let's see, duranium, mercasium, sorium. Duranium. Okay, the quantities here is pretty low. Yeah, it would either be Lima 1 or Lima 3. Probably Lima 3. Eventually we'll colonize all of these. Anyways, great targets here. And this is nice because it means we can set up El Ayun as like our forward maintenance base. We no longer have to have like all the maintenance centralized in Seoul. We can kind of push it out. Like the north can be headquartered in Georgetown, the west can be headquartered in Singapore, the east can be headquartered in Lima. The geography works out perfectly here. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing. I might play a bunch of this off camera, and when I have another free moment to stream, I might catch you guys up on where we're at, or I might record some in an LP kind of format, but we'll see. It's going to depend actually on how the patching works, and if there's a major patch that fixes something really important that breaks saves, then that's going to be a tough decision for us. But I think for now, we'll just keep playing it. We'll see what kind of aliens we get. I'd like to see if I can come up with a military doctrine that is sort of feasible and economical, that I can kind of produce without too much cheating, without any cheating really, that can kind of deal with the missile spam that you get with NPRs. So that's kind of the challenge that I'm setting for myself this playthrough, seeing if we can come up with an interesting answer for that. Before we get amazing technology, obviously. With amazing technology, you can do a lot. Anyways, that's the plan. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.